When someone thinks Mr Tumnus is kind of hot, is that normal or a red flag?
For me personally, it's a red flag. I should probably get out of this conversation right now. This could get freaky, yeah. If it's tickling your fancy, that's a different thing, isn't it? The White Witch is really attractive. Baddies are attractive a lot of the time to people in fantasy, you know. I remember reading an article that suggested that if you wear your socks whilst having sex, you have got a much higher chance of reaching orgasm. Whilst I don't think I've been with anybody who wears the socks in bed, I'd welcome it.
So today we're going to be playing red flags. So,
hit it.
Are you familiar with the concept of a red flag?
Yes, in society, in life, yes.
Yes, yeah.
In this game, I suspect I'll figure it.
So essentially, your character in this is a walking red flag.
Yes, he is a walking red flag, definitely. He is constantly given red flags. I think that's part of the thing that he's enjoying doing. He actually shows the red flag all the time. And he's like, you ain't taking it? You ain't taking it? Great, keep coming, keep coming.
Yeah, I won't give away too much. But yeah, basically, I'll read out a series of scenarios. You just have to decide whether it's normal behaviour or a red flag.
Okay.
When someone prefers to send voice notes instead of texts, is that normal or a red flag?
If they're over a certain length, then maybe it's a red flag. Although it depends who it is, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you go like, oh, so-and-so sent me a big long one, great. We were.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's got to be like a 3-minute maximum.
Cap?
Yeah.
I am working with a producer at the moment who has regularly, throughout his professional career, got 20-minute voice notes. And I thought you couldn't send them that long, but apparently you can.
Wow. Yeah,
from a particular person, so yeah.
When someone isn't on social media, is that normal or a red flag?
It's probably less normal or less usual, but I don't necessarily think it's a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say not a red flag, but I'd say it's also not really usual at the moment, but it can be normal.
It kind of should be normal, really, but
yeah.
I feel like, especially in relation to this film, just sort of double checking you do exist and you are a normal person.
Yeah.
Kind of useful to have one, so I'd be a bit suspicious.
Bit sus.
Yeah.
Okay.
When someone thinks Mr Tumnus is kind of hot, is that normal or a red flag?
For me personally, it's a red flag. I don't think it is necessarily for everyone a red flag, but for me personally, I'm like, I should probably get out of this conversation right now. This could get freaky, yeah.
Does that happen a lot?
It's happened a bit, actually, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's better to find him hot rather than like the White Witch.
The White Witch is really attractive. I mean, it's Tilda Swinton, so I mean, come on, she's really attractive. But it's like, it's whether you go like, oh, I can recognize that this person as the White Witch is really attractive, or whether it's like, if it's tickling your fancy, that's a different thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I completely agree. Tilda, of course. The White Witch, though, is like,
Yeah, but like baddies are attractive a lot of the time to people in fantasy, you know.
There's the clip, brilliant. When someone says they don't like the X-Men films, is that normal or a red flag?
That's completely fine, not a red flag.
Really?
Yeah, totally. Look, not all X-Men films are created equal. So maybe you've only seen the ones that aren't worthy of you saying you like them. Or maybe you've seen the ones that you think are brilliant and then they go like, I didn't like them. You go like, okay, you don't like superhero movies, that's cool.
That's art, isn't it?
That's fine,
yeah.
Man, that's fine.
So, we actually have a acting credit in common.
Oh, what was that?
So in 2010, I was an extra in X-Men First Class.
Really? What scene, what sequence?
So, it's in Oxford.
Yeah?
I was an Oxford student on date. You and Jennifer have just left the pub.
Yes.
There's a guy on a bicycle just going round, and I'm about to go around the corner, and they cut to you.
You're on the bike?
I'm not on the bike. I'm about to go round the corner.
Man, next time you can be the guy on the bike. Oh wow, that's cool, man. I remember shooting that scene. Was it raining?
It wasn't raining, but you just on a raining day.
Oh right,
if that
okay.
makes sense, yeah.
Oh cool, man. Cool. That was a night. I loved getting to share all that time with Jennifer. She was brilliant.
Yeah.
Just such the energy of that woman, and the spark and the humour and the fierce like wit of her as well.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant to be around. She's great.
She's awesome. I also have nothing but fond memories.
I'm glad to hear it, glad to hear it.
When someone still calls their parents mummy and daddy.
Red flag. Red flag.
Yeah.
I think it's a red flag even when my kids call me daddy. I'm like, ugh. Because actually my first kid never called me daddy, he only ever called me dad.
Really?
Even from like a tiny toddler age. But my youngest calls me daddy sometimes, and I'm like, don't like that. Don't like that.
Yeah, I think it's like one of the biggest icks going, to be honest. It's like,
when adults particularly call you mummy or daddy, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. Although it might be even more of a red flag when they call their parents by their Christian names. I think maybe that's even more of a red flag. I don't know.
I feel like that's more like a like an element of cool about it.
Like if one of my kids came in one day and was like, "Hey James, you get a cup of tea?" Don't think I'd go for that.
Yeah.
I don't think either of my kids are going to talk like that, by the way.
When someone says they don't watch horror movies, is that normal or a red flag?
No, I think that can be both can be normal. I would say neither is a red flag. I've recently stopped watching horror movies because I binged on them back in like early 2021, and I got to a level where I was actually starting to get more freaked out by them than I was when I started, and I thought maybe I'm done for a little while. But I did watch our film with an audience, and I really enjoyed being part of that communal experience. So maybe that'll tie me back in. But I wouldn't say it's a red flag.
Yeah, I love that. I'm not just saying this. I can't really remember the last time when we all left a screening. There was probably like 20 of us there, and we were all just sort of like, that was crazy. And it felt like a proper sort of like communal thing where you're all sort of enjoying it. So yeah, and I'm not just saying that.
No, thanks, man. We tried to make something that would be a good cinema film, like in the theatre film, and I think we've managed to do that. James did a great job, the director.
100%. When someone is rude to waiters.
Red flag. Definite red flag.
Yeah. I want to get your thoughts on this. When someone hasn't done a hospitality job.
Uh-huh.
Is that normal or also a bit of a red flag?
Oh no! I think you can have done hospitality and then you're still a pain in the arse. But I don't think. Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that's a red flag. No.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think when someone's rude to waiters, that's an immediate.
Definitely.
You can't even come back from that.
No, I mean I think you can be justifiably displeased or something with a waiter, but you can still do that without choosing to be rude.
Completely agree. When someone wants to know your star sign to check if you're compatible, is that normal or a red flag?
I don't think I've ever had somebody check in with me before they proceeded. I imagine I'd think that's a red flag.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. Because it sort of doesn't really matter, in my opinion. I
understand that it does to them, but it might be a red flag in terms of they might not be compatible with me if that's what's important to them. But I completely respect that it's important to them, but maybe our twains will never meet.
Such a great way of putting it. When someone wears socks in bed, is that normal or a red flag?
Ooh. Well, I remember reading I was going to say a report. I don't read medical studies. I remember reading an article that suggested that if you wear your socks whilst having sex, you have got a much higher chance of reaching orgasm.
Really?
Yeah, because the higher your body temperature, the easier it is to achieve that state. So whilst I don't think I've been with anybody who wears the socks in bed, I'd welcome it.
I had no idea that's where that question was going to go.
That's the beauty of life, isn't it?
So that's a green flag. Okay, that's great. Yeah, I've been given the rap sign.
Okay, so great. On that note, cheers, mate.
Oh, mate, that was so much fun.
Cheers.
Thank you.
They were just saying that you showed them a video of the rat. Did you see the rat?
I saw the rat.
Oh, man.
So I always told myself, if I ever got in a room with you again, we would talk about it. And yeah, I'm so pleased that you remember it.
No, I had to be reminded, actually. So I was like, what happened? But yeah, I'm not good with fast, jumpy, moving animals.
Neither am I, it turns out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, one of the most surreal moments of my life.
Okay.
Awesome.
Agnes, love, you have to eat your vegetables. Like we don't chew with our mouths open.
Please, could you stop telling my daughter what to do?
You don't criticize other people's children. You should say sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, Louise.
Louise, is there anything you'd like to say?
Hey, what's going on? I'm Kevin Hart.
Hi, my name's Eric Stonestreet.
Hi, I'm Margot. I'm Journey.
I'm James McAvoy.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe.
I'm Rebel Wilson.
I'm Jeremy Clarkson.
I'm going to be translating some Scottish tweets for It's Gone Viral.
On It's Gone Viral.
Ooh, on It's Gone Viral.